he's going to start taking out these rocks soon, or maybe prepare for a timing attack. But as it turns out, I'm preparing for a timing attack of my own right now. I'm just making a ton of roaches, got the roach speed. Generally, I like to push right when roach speed finishes. I think I'm waiting for a couple extra roaches to pop right now. But when roach speed finishes around the 10-11 minute mark, is a really good time to push if you're going to use this roach Ling build. It's probably the ideal time to push, get my creep spread out. I could have done a little bit better with this, but I'm not really planning for the long term in this game, so that's part of the reason it's not spread a little bit better. Generally, obviously, if you're playing the macro game, you'd already want a third. But it looks like I'm going to start the attack now. I've got a decent amount of roaches. If you look at the unit count, 33 roaches and 50 Zerglings. So that's an excellent amount of units. And I'm just going to engage here. I run the Zerglings all the way past and try to surround the back of the army. And I move the roaches in past the force fields so that all of them can engage. There's still a couple roaches here that aren't engaging. I could have microed a little bit better on this part, but the key is that you need to try to move past the force field as much as possible so that all your roaches can be attacking at once. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of overwhelming him here. He's got 3 immortals out, but the Zerglings are just tanking so much damage, allowing the roaches to really get in there and get the shots off they need on the immortals. Looks like he's got a Colossus. He was making a Colossus while this was happening. This isn't going to be a threat by itself because there's not enough gateway units to support it, and I'm just going to go straight for the expansion and try to take this out. As you can see, he's already GG'd. He knows that once his expansion goes down, he's pretty much screwed because he won't have the economy to replenish his army. So I'm going to pause right here and just maybe go back and review a couple of the the actual attack part of that, because that's the important part. Let's see here. Well, I could go a little bit further. Here we go. So I should be attacking sometime soon. Yeah, so basically with this build, you really need to make sure that you get a ton of surface area on the Protoss army. As you'll notice when I bring all my stuff down, I try to go for their complete surround. And another important thing is you really have to be on top of your injects with this build. You have to be, as soon as this army is even heading out, you need to be making more overlords to free up supply, and you need to be spamming Zerglings in. The reason I choose to rally Zerglings is because, just they're so quick. They get to your opponent so easily. So you really need to be constantly re-injecting. Actually, I'm making a couple mistakes here. This hatch is spawned, but this one I could be doing better. You need to be constantly macroing up a ton of Lings. If you want to have this strat be successful. You can't just leave your hatches there idle and just spam the Z key and hope that you're gonna have enough larvae to make the attack work, because you won't. You really need to be constantly macroing Zerglings, because Zerglings, as you can see here, that's what's making these immortals so easy to deal with, basically, is the Zerglings. If those immortals, if it was an entirely roach-based army, those immortals they'd have a retarded amount of kills. It'd be absolutely crazy. But the Zerglings, they basically get up in their face and they have to attack the Zerglings unless you're focus firing down roaches, and that requires micro. The Protoss player, probably not known for micro, and just derp face roll. Joking, of course. But yeah, they're going to be focusing their attention on other places, and they're not microing their immortals, and they're just being surrounded by Zerglings. Roaches are getting a ton of free shots off. So you really need to be reinforcing with Zerglings from both hatches throughout the entire attack. As you can see, when the attack first happened, it didn't necessarily look like it was going to go in my favor. If we can get back to this attack, speed this up a little bit. I know you've already seen this 2 times. We'll slow things down as soon as I engage, but you'll notice that, yeah, it doesn't really look like things are going to be going too well for me here. Put it on normal. It looks good here, I get the surround on these units, but then the force fields come, and it really separates my army. It looks like he's going to have no problem cleaning this up, but it's just the constant stream of reinforcements that come from my main that allows me to basically take this game. Just keep reinforcing, and we're going to have more Zerglings streaming in. And it's really important that you direct your Zerglings too. Like, notice I send them right into the battle, right around the force fields. That's very important. You have to be microing with the units that are coming in. You need to get them in the fight right away. And you know, at this point, he doesn't have enough units to really hold off this attack. So he's pretty much forced to GG. And this is pretty much the essence of the 2-base timing attack versus Protoss. It's a good, you know, little way to mix up your play versus TOS, because the macro game can be quite frustrating. And the thing is, they don't really expect Zerg to attack. You know, they're so used to being the ones that initiate the first attack, move out for that little timing push. You know, they're thinking, okay, the Zerg is going to take a third, and he's going to go into the macro game, and I'm going to be ahead because I'm going to do this little timing push, get some damage done. But this is a really good way to catch Protoss players off guard and just, you know, in some cases outright kill them. In other cases, they won't GG, you'll kill the Nexus. And then they'll pretty much be screwed because they don't have any more economy left. In the event this doesn't work, if they completely, you know, stop your attack, you're going to be behind definitely. But in most cases, you can deal enough damage, you know, to at least transition into the later versions of the game. So definitely a strong build overall. Definitely a couple mistakes for me, you know, with the late Roach Warren. Yeah, and the micro in the beginning with the Stalker and stuff wasn't that great. You generally want to move this actually up to the front after the initial Stalker pressure, you know, in case they try to transition into a 4-gate and it's not a 3-gate expand. Well, then you'll have a Spine Crawler already here to help out with that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this video, and I'll be making more in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and you were able to learn something from it. Just trying to give the Zerg players another way to fight off the Protoss, and I'm not taking responsibility for this build or anything. I was actually first inspired by the Zerg player Rhett after watching the recent MLG, well, not recent, but the most recent one. He did Roach Ling timing attacks and a couple of his Protoss opponents, so I've been, you know, working on incorporating that into my game. So it's certainly not my build order. I just don't see it talked about a lot in the Zerg forum, or, you know, I don't see many videos of it on YouTube, so I figured I'd go and put this out here, give you a little bit of, you know, heads up on what you can do to Protoss players to pressure them in the mid game. So, well, I guess I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.